Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain.
What is going on, crypto fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Nightcap. And here on this channel, we're giving you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. We're doing it every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I don't do this alone. I got my man. I'm bringing him up. F.D. White. You know
Man, it's been a long few days, man. Long couple days, man. With the kids starting school, we got a new show starting. A couple other shows I've been on all week, man. But can't let the community down, man. I love the community. So we're here tonight. Last one of the night, so let's make it a good one of the
Bro.
week, rather. So let's make it.
Yeah, you've been grinding, man. You've been everywhere. You've been on multiple shows. Don't get burnt out. Don't get burnt out, man. That's all I gotta say. I
You
know.
know what, man? This is the time in the past when the market has been doing this, I kind of lulled to sleep, and then boom, the market just pops up. So I'm not doing that again. I'm staying in tune. Whatever I got to do to keep myself focused, I'm doing
Okay.
it. So we're
All
here.
right. Good. Well, I'm glad you're still good in a good mental state, man. I think if I was grinding as hard as you, I might be thinking twice. But yeah, dude. I mean, the market. What are we doing here? I feel like we're talking about the same things over and over again. It's one of those things. We're down at a critical area of support, and it's really trying to make a decision, like which way do we want to go here? And so we'll look at it. We'll look at it again. I see all the usual suspects in here, so you guys already know what I'm going to talk about in terms of TA. But I think FD's got some other things for you today that we're going to look at. So he said he's going to bring a little bit more of the fundamentals and some altcoins, and I'm going to bring up some altcoins. So go ahead and put a couple requests in there. We probably won't do many of them, but maybe we'll get to maybe a couple of them. So let us know in the chat. That'd be dope. Let's go ahead and look at the chat. Let's see who's in here. We got Trade Intuition. Joe's in here. He said first, go ahead and visit his channel. He's got a great channel. He is growing. He is part of the family. So again, go check him out. Buck, what's up, my dude? Me and him talked for about a good hour on the phone today. Both of us are prior Marines, so we shared some stories, man. We shared some stories. He's a good dude. All right, Eric, Bolin, Wallen, what's up, man? How are you doing? I feel like I've seen you in the chat a lot, but I don't feel like we've actually got to interact a whole lot recently. So hope all is well, my friend. Mike plays in here. Army Piper, how you doing? He's probably mad at me right now. I missed a phone call. I slept. I'm sorry. So I I fell asleep, man. I don't know what to tell you. Harp, yo, what's up, dude? How you doing? Indie Rock Crypto, much love. Waiting on the parlays to hit for Baltimore versus KC. Rain delayed. Oh, that's tough. Let's see. And that is Semper Gumby. That's funny. Hey, dude, me and Piper were just laughing about that yesterday. I think we're gonna make an emoji or something like that with Semper Gumby. So we'll figure that out. I was gonna find an audio clip, but I couldn't find anything good. So what's up, man? You look like you had something to say.
If the market, yeah, you see, I got my Tigers. I've been wearing my sports stuff lately, man. If the market ain't gonna do nothing, soon I'm gonna pivot to a sports better, man. I'm gonna pivot over to sports gambling, man. I keep
He's
getting
like,
commercials.
I gotta cure my itch over here. All right.
Something, man. He talking about parlays. That's right around right up my alley, man.
Dude, I almost hit big last Super Bowl. It was a crazy parlay. It took like 6 different players to do like 6 different things, and I was literally one Kittle catch away from hitting like G's, a couple G's. I was a little upset, but is what it is. No big deal. He was wide open too, man. If you go back and look at it, it was literally the fourth quarter. They ran a similar route. They both had 2 in routes. So the halfback wheeled He did like an end and the tight end at the end, and they're both going across. The running back was McCaffrey was actually more covered than Kittle, and he threw it to McCaffrey. I was like, "You son of a!"
Yeah. I remember that play.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Oh my god! That killed me. It is what it is. All right. Well, cool. Let's go ahead and get over to some of the news today, and here we go. Just in, Donald Trump officially announces he will create a government efficiency commission led by Elon Musk to audit U.S. agencies. So we knew this was being talked about. We knew it was a thing that was on the horizon. I think a lot of it probably had to do with whether Elon really wanted to do it or not. But you can tell he's been a lot more active on social media. He's been a lot more active on X, and he's talking about some politics, right? So he is getting involved, and this is very, very interesting. He's a very influential man. He's got some pull. So we'll see how this goes. But I want you guys to guess what the name of this agency is actually going to be. Let me know if you know in the chat. Send me your guess what it's going to actually be called. It's kind of hilarious, and it actually might make something move. All right, that's a little hint. So let's see here. What do we got next? Over to all right. The Kobeisi letter. Prediction markets are now pricing in 4 rate cuts in 2024 or 100 BPS of cuts for the first time since August 5th crash. All right, over the last 2 days, prediction markets have priced in an additional rate cut in 2024. So, I mean, like, I feel like we've seen this already. We've seen this a couple times. We've even seen, I think it was like 6 months ago, where it was a 100% chance that a rate cut was coming. Yet here we are, and we still haven't had a rate cut. So, what do you think about this, man? Two things. We'll start with the agency that Trump is going to introduce for Elon. What do you think of that? And then we
Mhm.
will transition over to the rate cuts.
So I'm gonna say this, man. Elon better hope Trump win. I'm gonna tell you that because if not, they gonna make his
They gonna
life
make his miserable.
they gonna make his they gonna make everything he's doing. They're gonna make it. It's already hard. Like the Biden administration already don't like him. You know,
Yeah,
they acknowledge EVs. They never talk about Tesla. They never talk about anything Elon's doing when it comes to SpaceX. When it comes to the Boring Company, anything. So he better hope they win. You know, I mean, he's gonna be fine regardless. But you know, they're just gonna make it a lot harder. And I think I hope that if that administration does win, he comes in and he brings some people that can come in and clean up some stuff. I think they're far too gone if they're talking about national debt. I think that's what they're going to try to clean up and doing all type of budget balancing and all that. Like you should have been doing this, 10 years ago. So now, or at least, before the pandemic, after the pandemic, I think we're a little far too gone for that. But they can try. Hopefully, they do try because things are looking very bad when you do peel the layers back and not just listening to the mainstream media. And then when it comes to what was the second one?
the second one was the rate cuts. So now
Oh,
they're now pricing in 4.
they're
So
coming. Yeah,
I'll,
they're
I'll
coming.
ask you. I'll ask you this. I'll ask you this. Do you think it's going to be a 0.25, or do you think it's going to be a 0.5? I think I keep hearing a lot of people say it's going to be a 0.5, and I would say I disagree
Yeah, no.
because Powell has shown us already that like his incremental way of trying to fix things, he doesn't want to shock the market, which I
Yeah.
understand and I respect. But I want to hear what you think, and then how do you think it'll actually impact the crypto market once
Mhm.
they start introducing these cuts?
So I think it'll be 0.25 tomorrow. I think the consensus is coming out supposed to be 4.2, so that's down from 4.3. So with the unemployment rate. So if it comes in at 4.2, I think 2.25 is for set in stone, So I think, like you said, he doesn't want to shock the markets. We used to say, well, I used to think like, okay, Powell doesn't want to shock the markets, so he basically, he's running the markets, he controls the markets, but really the markets kind of sometimes tell him what to do as well, because if the market is going up and things come out, economic data comes out, and then the Powell reacts too dovishly or too hawkishly, it could adversely affect the market. So he usually goes with the consensus for the most part. We haven't really had a shock like that to my recollection. It's usually been on par. So I think it's a 0.25 is coming. Now I think down the pipeline might be 0.25, starting next year. Like once the new regime comes in, or if the Democrats win again, I think it'll be a fresh slate to just start doing whatever they need, whatever they want to do. I think right now they're just taking it slow to just eke out these last few months to not, sway in any direction, the market. So I'm just sitting back and I got my popcorn and I'm watching, man. But I think it'll be 0.25, and I think if it was point, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think if everybody, the consensus is 0.25 and they do 0.5, then I think that'll shock the markets. And I think how are we going to take it? As good news or bad news? If we take it as bad news, like is something really that wrong? If they got to cut this much, so it's a toss up for me, man.
Oh,
It's really a toss.
it's ugly. Like if you look right now, like in terms of the debt, I think the US is paying something stupid like $2 or $3 billion. I don't know if it's a day or what. It's crazy. Like if you look at the chart, it's like astronomically higher than it has ever been.
You know
So
what? So now that you said something, I'm sorry to cut you off, but before I
you're
forget,
good.
something, it does, like I keep forgetting, like, and I don't know why, that this interest also affects the interest on the debt. So as long as it's super high, these interest, the rates that got to roll over will be rolled over into a higher, interest rate. So that is another reason that I think they need to move fast, or they want to move fast, but they're trying to act. It's I don't know what they're doing, man. I really don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're trying to fight inflation, because if they're trying to fight inflation, it seemed like they would have went tighter for longer. It seems like if they're trying not to, have a recession, it seemed like they would cut quicker. Like, you know what? That's a tough spot to be in for Powell, man. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to do that
Old
job.
Papa Pow, baby. All right. Let's check out the chat here. We got a couple late rivals, we'll say. Amy Lives Crypto's in the house with the orange hearts. How you doing, lady? Clay the Great, he's in here. He said, "How's everybody doing?" And hootie hoo. Said, "What's up, TradeFly and FD White?" All right, looking at the chat, who else is in here? C90 for the win. What's up, my dude? Wick 589, Nightcap Company, Flames. Let's get it. And then I did see a interesting, let me see, message here. It was from Crux. He said, "Markets crash now. It favors Trump. Trump becomes president. It favors crypto." I can see that. I would agree. Like, I think like if they really feel like Trump is gonna get in, they're gonna leave him a poo poo sandwich, right? He's gonna have to clean up a big mess. So we'll see. We'll see how it spirals out of control. But a lot of times you'll see they try to clean up their act right towards the end, right before elections, to make it seem as though all is well, right? Because that you want that going into the election. Let's see here. Army Piper. Let's see what he said here. "Smaller government is needed from the far. Get rid of half but working government civs." I mean, it is kind of crazy, man. The government employees, there's a lot of them, man. And honestly, I mean, I've seen it firsthand. A lot of them don't work very hard, to be honest with you. They actually they spend as much time trying to find their way out of work as if they just would have done the work. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. But
Yeah, I can second that. I can second that. I came from a base where they built, tanks and whatnot. So I was in the government side before I went full fledged crypto. And you're right, man. It was for a minute. It was like, because I got in when Dogecoin was going nuts and all in 2020, 2021. So I was in there, trying to find my way out of work too. But I definitely
I'm gonna
can.
keep it real.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real, man. The markets was pumping. I was like, why am I here? So I was
Yeah.
trying to find my way out of there somehow. But
I
I
had
definitely that.
my why am I here moments where I'm like out in the field and it's like 13 degrees with a canteen frozen. I don't have any water. And then I'm like, what am I doing? I could be home playing video games. Like,
Hey, man, it's all
is
for a greater cause, though.
I guess so. So they say.
Yeah,
All right. So, Doge, you guys are correct. Yes, that is what they're gonna call that government agency. So, I think it was a Department of. Let me see if I can pull that up. Again, Department of Government Efficiency. Yeah,
yeah.
Doge. Yeah, hilarious. And I think that actually a weird kind of way would be bullish for Doge, man. If
Man,
they actually do that. So
don't count Dogecoin out. Don't count. See,
I'm
this
not.
is the trickle effect. This is the trickle effect that's going to happen if Trump wins for Dogecoin for Elon Musk. So if he does do that, Elon Musk comes on, builds the Doge, the DOGE, whatever, the Department of Great Efficiency or whatever it is. That's going to pump it's going to pump Doge. It's just going to pump it. And then we have this is what Elon is waiting for. I guarantee you, he's waiting for to see if Trump wins, so he can easily start rolling out his payment plan on X. He's trying to make that just a one hub like WeChat over in China. So if
Yeah.
that happens, be looking out for major Doge moves. So if I was to stack anything right now, a high conviction play, it would be Dogecoin, not financial advice.
Not financial advice. Hey, there's some big news for you. It looks like Amy Lives Crypto is going to be on BGT next Tuesday. That is super awesome. Congrats. So we'll definitely push everyone your way, and I'm looking forward to hearing your story. So I know a little bit about you. We've talked, but it'll be super cool to see you on BGT. That's cool. That's really cool. All right, you know what time it is. We gotta sound the siren. Old Elmer Fudd is back. And I'm going to be honest with you, this one is not all that bad. But billionaire Mark Cuban, you guys all probably know who he is, says if Kamala Harris actually decides to tax these unrealized gains, it's going to kill the stock market. So, I mean, that's an interesting take. I don't know how true that really is going to be, because I think the people that are really going to be affected are the high earners initially, right? And my issue with all of it is that you start this, that's where you start, and then where it ends up is us, right? So if you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile, and that's really my biggest concern with this tax on unrealized gains. And it's just not, it shouldn't be illegal, man. That is not fair. Like, and if you guys have a hard enough time like trying to keep uh straight taxes straight, wait till you start trying to tax unrealized gains. Like, that is going to be a nightmare for everyone, including the IRS. So FD, what do you think, man? I saw you had some emotions going on there, man. What's up? What's that?
It's it's a two-sided thing because number one, every time I'm on X, I'm seeing Mark Cuban just talking about Trump, talking about how bad he is, talking about how good the Kamala and all this other stuff is, and now he's talking about how bad for the. So I don't know what side of the
He likes
spectrum he.
RFK. He's an
I
RFK
mean,
dude. So that's
so
why
now
he's
what?
like in the middle. He don't like either one of them.
Oh, okay. Because every time I'm
Yeah.
on there, I put polls out, and the polls have like went against his favor and things like that.
So
So
check this out. He was an RFK dude.
yeah,
He bent over backwards to get RFK on the ballot. And then when RFK decided to join up with Trump, he was like, I want off these ballots. And I think specifically North Carolina. He was like, I want off the ballot. And Cuban was like, nah, that's not happening. Like, I put money into that. We put money into it, and we're good at what we do. He was like, nah, you're staying on the ballot. I was just like, damn. Yeah. Yeah. So
so
that's gonna hurt a little bit, at least in North Carolina for Trump. So
yeah. And then when it comes to like the unrealized gains, like I think it was only for like a certain amount, like millions of like certain amount of money. But the big players, the ones that deal with that money, are the ones who it will be affected with. So if the liquidity isn't there, they're not doing as much, trading and putting this, market making enough. Like that, I can see that happening. Like I can see a lot of the stock market, a lot of the companies' valuations going down over time if that does happen. But I'm not a stock market guru anymore.
bro,
I have to do a lot more due diligence before I speak, correctly onto that. I started in the stock market, but then I was just tired of 2% moves, so I came over to crypto. But
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it's just that you have to see.
that's why I like trading crypto. But I still have stocks, and I still have traditional like IRAs, 401ks, all
Oh
that stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
crypto is just fun, right? Like, it's got a little element of gambling. It really does. Let's be honest, because you
It's
don't always know where
speculation.
it's gonna go. But
Yeah, yep.
we sit here and we try to find a way to give us a statistical probability that, gives us a fighting chance to have the better odds. And I would say it's a lot better than going to play craps. So, all
Yeah,
right.
but a lot of people, I say that, and then a lot of people were like, just do options, just do options. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like I tried to do options before, and I got wrecked the one time I did it. So I just said I'm not doing that again. But it's probably just something that you got to learn. I know how to read the chart, so that's probably pretty much it. You just got to learn the ins and the outs. But
Yeah.
the stock market has been really volatile too lately. So
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of those two moves are
There's
like 5, 10. We seen Nvidia move 10%. So and that's
in one
one
day,
of
in
the
one
world,
day.
yes. we can't even have that argument anymore. Stock market is a bunch of degens too.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Mark Dutch, what's up, dude? Welcome. How you doing? And yes, you can definitely hang out with us. Hope all is well, my friend. It's great seeing you in here.
Mark
Oh,
Dutch, man, that's my guy, man. Shout out to Mark Dutch. He's a he's hilarious, man. He's hilarious. That's my guy, man. Shout out, thank you for coming over, man.
oh, Piper said, don't bash on. I'm not bashing craps, bro. That is actually by far my favorite game in the casino. I love the interaction with the crowd. I love that everyone's cheering for each other. That is, I think, the funnest game in the casino. Personally, uh, I just like my odds better in crypto. That's all. All right.
I
With
like
that,
it too.
what's up?
But not at the casino. We used to be at the basketball court. It's like
I've been there,
you know,
man. On the front steps.
yeah, that was
Don't
my first
yeah.
time to the gambling world, and I got wrecked. I don't even know why I'm in crypto because every time before I got into crypto, I tried to gamble and do everything. I got wrecked.
Eh,
So I guess this is a little bit more of a statistical. You can get more statistical edge unless you know how to count cards and do things like that. But I
yeah.
really don't know. Man. I must be out of my mind.
I think it's funny, man. I sometimes I look at this chat and I'm like, are you guys here for crypto or just to like hang out and listen to two dudes talk? Because like we end up spiraling so much. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
talk
I'm sorry. All right,
about
let's go over to the market pulse. Let's take a look at that. See what we got going on here. And here we go. All right, market cap. We're sitting at 2,056,000,000,000. That is down 2.68%. 24-hour trading volume is at 77.7 billion. That's down 16.7%. Bitcoin dominance is actually down 0.46%, and that's at 54%. We are now officially in extreme fear. Guess what? LBC, Trucks of Crypto, you guys are cleared hot. I think that's what you guys were waiting for, was extreme fear to start lathering in. Here you are. You're here. Be careful though. We are at a very critical area of support, and we will talk about that. And over to the top 10. Bitcoin, Ethereum, always number one, too. Bitcoin is literally at that critical area at 56K. And it is down 3.57% over 24 hours, down 5.59% over 7 days. Ethereum is at 2364, and that is down 3.82% over 24 hours and down 6.4% over 7 days. Let's see if we have any big movers. Anybody green? Look at that. Ton's green. That's up 3.62% over 24 hours. So never know. I mean, we did talk about that, sub $5. And then I believe the CEO actually released some messages on Twitter today as well, and kind of explaining not really his side, but I guess just talking through the situation a little bit. So, hey, maybe things are a go for Ton. So take a look see at that. Cardano, AVEX, they're all still out of the top 10. Sorry about your luck. All right. Economic calendar. Non-farm payrolls is going to go tomorrow, as well as the unemployment rate. So those two should be pretty key. You should be seeing some movement off of the numbers that come out. That'll be at 4:30 my time. So that is 7:30 Eastern. So that will be in the morning there. So they'll be out before the morning show. So Piper will be able to break those down for you, let you know everything about them and how it's going to affect the market. So tune in to the morning show tomorrow and get that alpha. Over to the crypto bubbles, we got Helium. That's up 5.8%. Good on you. Ton is up 4.3%. Just talked about that. Everybody else, red. Sea of red. Bonk down 7.6. That's ugly. Brett's down 7.9. Bet down 5.8. And then is it eGold? Is that correct? No, it's Multiverse. Sorry. Multiverse X is down 7.8%. Everyone else, Cass is 6.1, already down 7.3. Man, Cass is hurting me. It's just hurting my feelings. Retro Mike, where you at, dog? Where you at, man? You've just put a bad taste of Cass in my mouth, dude. That sounded weird. All right, over to the liquidation heat map. 3-day, we got some liquidity building up at about 58.5, 58.6 area. You can see it's a hot spot. Let's go ahead and zoom out. I think there's another hot spot around 60K. Come on, you can do it. There it is. Yep, around 60K. So there's your two hotspots, 58.5 and about 60K. Let's get over to the charts here. Excuse me while I bring those up. Give me one moment. I've noticed that if I have all these windows open, it actually
Mhm.
bogs down the machine a little bit. So I've been kind of keeping them separate here. Let's go over to Bitcoin. All right, over to just got an alert. It's time for some TA. Let's look at it. All right, so Our important level that we've been talking about here is this trend line that's part of a channel. All right. So big things to look at when you're zooming out. We kind of talked about this last couple of days, and unfortunately, it's still what's in play. But one thing me and Piper were talking about earlier that was pretty key as well, and I haven't really discussed it as much, but I have talked about it on the morning show, is this median, right? You see this dotted blue line? Look how that has acted as resistance. So you basically got a little bit, yeah, I'd say like a double top there. And then we had our breakdown, but it came right down to the support area. So I mean, this channel is holding up really, really well. But like I said, critical area here. This holds, we're good, right? You can expect that we'll come back up and retest this median. That would make sense. If we don't hold this support level, we're in trouble, right? Because then what are we looking at? We're looking at 2022 high, 2023 high, maybe even retesting the median here. Look, you can see where the median of this lower channel held up as support before we ultimately took off. So there, that could be in play. And now you're talking about, anywhere between 47 to 45K if we break down and lose this channel. So again, just to reiterate, if we break down, you see some kind of a retest, expect that we're probably coming down to the 2022 high at a minimum, and then you'll look for some price action down there. So what does the 2022 high tie into? Look, you can see this wick here. That shows you selling pressure before we actually took off. But right here, you can see it. And then you can see it was a little bit of support there, and it was a little bit of support and resistance here. You can see both sides. It was support here as well, right? So that lets me know that like that's a pretty key area to find, some price action off of. So it never hurts. And this is kind of what I do to get ahead of it is I try to actually put my limit orders in early. All right. So when I see that there's an opportunity for maybe a bounce or some kind of resistance in an area, I'll go ahead and just put the limit order in. All right. And, then you got to protect yourself, obviously, with stop loss. So if you're looking at the 2022 high, then you're probably going to want to be underneath of the 2023 high for some sort of stop loss. And the dynamic reactor is working its way up as well. So, that's sometimes I'll do that just to get ahead of it, especially like the 50K one when we're talking about liquidity. I put that in like months in advance. I did it live on the show. I was like, I'm putting my order in at 50K. That's it. Set it, forget it. And I would do spot on that. I wouldn't really use any kind of leverage just because you don't know what kind of wick you're gonna get, right? Because a lot of times you'll see something like this where it comes down to a really key area and you get a massive wick down, and then if you have liquidity, you could get liquidated because of that big wick, depending on how much leverage you're actually using. So always be very, very careful with that. But look at this, how it recovered, right? So it shows us there was buying pressure there. And right now we're just holding. We're holding the line, man. We're putting up the good fight. Like I said, we are in kind of a descending broadening wedge here that we gotta kind of keep our eye on as well. And there's just a couple things that are not pretty. Let me see why the prime oscillator is not really working right now. Let's go to the daily, see if that. Sometimes you just need to change the time frame to get it going. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe I maybe I lost my access. Sometimes gotta refresh it, but it is what it is. Ain't no biggie. Let's just go ahead and make the screen big. So looking at it on the daily, you can see the dynamic reactor to the top side. You got all that resistance there. And we've been flirting with it. We retested it, broke down, and we talked about that. One thing I don't like, we're talking about patterns, and I kind of saw this today. If you start zooming in, make it a little bit bigger, what's it look like besides a middle finger? It looks like a head and shoulders, right? So a lot of times when you're looking at these head and shoulders, especially on a lower time, well, the daily's not even a lower time frame. Um, but if you're looking at them, one thing I don't like to see, and I try to tell people about this, whenever I talk about head and shoulders, if this shoulder is higher than this shoulder here, that's usually a bad sign. And I'll see people talk about head and shoulders quite a bit, and you'll see like a little head and shoulders and then a big move up and then it comes down, and then the second shoulder is actually higher on the right side. That actually, to me, a lot of times indicates that you got the opportunity to continue. You'll have continuation up and right. Another thing too is you want to look for how did price action actually enter into the pattern, because that has an influence on a smaller scale of which way price could go. So when you have price action coming in from the top, right, that means price action is moving down, very obvious. But that's how it entered. It entered from the top, which means that you're more likely for continuation than you are for a reversal. So what I would like to do is look at the oscillator here. Let's that's not working. Let's see if we can pull the old faithful here. Got the old, that's a pro. Let's look at that one. See if that works. Maybe it's just me. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Just slow. Trading view slow today.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it's
good. Oh,
a little bit
good.
weird a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just slow right now. But it is what it is. Like I said, we're looking at the same level. Hasn't really changed. Um, we just need to hold the line. All right. So as of right now, we haven't had a close on the daily underneath of that area at about 56K. So I think we're okay. But if we start closing underneath of it, and when I say 56K, that's a little bit loose, right? This trend line's not going to be exact either. But if you do see, a real, like, it comes down and then comes back up for a retest, then, we could get a little nervous, to be honest. And that, if you get that retest with a rejection, so keep an eye on that, then there could be opportunity for some downside movement. So really just really keep an eye on this level. I actually posted it in our Discord. So in our trade setups, it's not an actual trade setup, obviously, but I thought it would be good for like SA, situational awareness, we call it, for you guys to just have that channel to reference. So if you guys are in the Discord, just go over there, go to our trade setups tab on the left side there, and I posted this if you guys want to see. And then if you want to put this on your chart, just match it up. So just draw it's two channels. You just draw one from the high to the 2021 high, and then you go to where there's support. All right. So off that pullback. So high to high, support, and then you just line it up, and you can see where it got hung up here. That's how you know you got it kind of laid out right. And then you'll put the second channel overlaying on the same one, and then you'll come down here and you'll play this, or not play this, but you'll find this area of support. So I took this one out of it kind of because you had multiple touches. It just seemed to line up better when I was overlaying the actual channel. So cool. That's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin right now. So critical area, I mean, hasn't changed. It seems we've been talking about this for a few days. It's just a matter of letting it play out now and seeing which way we're going to go with this. And then we start talking about, are we going to the 2022 high or are we going to the 2021 high? And once we get that move, that break of like, hey, which way are we going? Then we can start talking about those areas again. But for now, we're here, and it is what it is, and we just gotta wait. So the game is on. Unfortunately, some of the economic factors outside of crypto are not the best right now, right? People are starting to talk a little bit recession again, but really, let's be honest, that narrative is banana land because I feel like we've mostly been in a recession for probably about a year and a half. Like there's been a couple positive GDPs, or GDP quarters or months. But think about this too, right? GDP also includes government spending. A lot of people don't realize that. So that really is not necessarily the best indicator of how our economy is doing because our government spending is through the roof. Think about it, right? Especially when you're sending out hundreds of billions of dollars in aid to, other countries like that. That's all part of the equation. So you got to really think those things through. I mean, the data is all very, very misleading. I will say the biggest indicator for me, let's go over to duo cam here. The biggest indicator for me is how am I directly affected on a daily basis? And I will tell you that I am not able to save as much as I was able to save before. My food costs more. My utilities cost more. The gas costs more. The insurance costs way more. Everything in my life right now is more expensive. Like, it's crazy, right? Everything it feels like is probably 30 to 40% more expensive. So that expendable income that I should have to be able to invest and do other things with is not there. It's gone, right? So that lets me know that, we have bigger issues. We have bigger issues. And I think that at some point, I have this feeling that we're gonna have a very similar to 2008 event with like the housing and things of that nature. And the reason I think that is because people are getting into loans, not necessarily that they can't afford, but they actually are getting too stretched out, right? And when things change in life or when they need to move, they're unable. Like there was a point, I would say about a year ago, I was priced out of my own house. If I were to have to do it all over again, I would not have the same house that I have about a year ago. Now things have changed. I'm getting paid more money now, so now that this has flipped a little bit for me personally on a personal level, but I feel like it's putting people in really bad positions. They're stuck, some of them, because they have a low interest rate. They're at 2.25 or 3% or whatever the case may be when they refied, a few years ago when the rates were phenomenal. And now like they've gotten stuck because they can't afford the mortgage that is twice as much as it should be or was, right? Or maybe 30, 40% more. So I don't know, there's a couple factors for me that just lets me think that there's gonna be some hell to pay here at some point. I don't know how far off it is, but I think we're due. We're due for a correction. I think that the prices need to pull back on homes a little bit because it's just too much right now for the normal person. It's too much of their income. It's not proportional, right? You shouldn't be using that much of your income for housing, right? And that generally affects the market. I'm very interested to see like how much of this market is retail and how much of it is institutions, especially when you talk about crypto, because what's pumping right now? What's pumping is Bitcoin. Everything else is lagging. And then there's some meme coins, right? That's probably retail. And it doesn't take much to pump them, right? It doesn't take much money to pump those smaller cap tokens. Bitcoin, it does. It takes a lot to move Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's the only thing that's really been moving. Besides maybe Solana, Ethereum was moving at one point based on some ETF news. That's even pulled back. So like you said Popcat?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love my.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Like, so is what's driving Bitcoin? Is it institutions and big money, or is it retail? And I honestly think it's not retail. It feels maybe like it is because we're here and we've all been here for a while, but I don't think it's us. I think institutions are heavily invested and they see an opportunity to make money and they're going to freaking jump on that opportunity. All right, that was long-winded. I got a little bit crazy with that, but FD, what are you thinking? I'm going to look at the chat, see what
Man,
they're probably all telling me to shut up, TradeFly, but we'll see.
I just I got a sad chart. I'm not even gonna do no TA on it. I just want to I want to talk to the chat about this chart. Can you share my screen, man? Because I had high hopes for this coin, and right now it just looks bad. This is Polkadot, man. Polkadot has just if you hold Polkadot, if you were bullish on Polkadot coming into this
I
cycle,
was.
let me know because I was very
I
very
was.
bullish
I'll tell you
on
I was.
Polkadot. I mean, and we're back. We're not only back to 2022 levels. We're back to 2020 levels. So this level right here. I mean, if you're still bullish on Polkadot, then this is the level to be buying. Like I'm gonna have to do some more due diligence. I know they had a little thing where they were pushing some money here, pushing some money there to get people to talk about it, but it's not working. It's not working, man. It's just this chart looks very bad. I think the technology, I think it was like a layer zero. It was like some interoperability. I was like all into the ecosystem, coming into this cycle, but it just never panned out, man. It never panned out. So, if anybody has some deep due diligence on Polkadot, send it my way. But technically, it just looks bad. It looks bad. If we had a nice little pump, we came here in October from the bottom of the bear market. This is when the bear market pretty much ended. When we popped up, when everything popped up to the middle of March to about $11, almost $12, and then we just came right back down. So is
Yeah.
this a dead project or what? Because somebody asked me about this on X, and I was like, you know what? I'll bring it up. Come over to the crypto nightcap, and I'll bring it up.
I
And
mean,
then I brought it
they're
up.
still putting their name on jerseys. Like
Yeah, I
they're still
seen messages.
sponsoring soccer teams. Like,
Yeah, so Polkadot, my email
yeah.
address. I'll put in the link below if you need some sponsorships or something, you know.
Yeah.
But it just looks like the technicals don't look good, man. Like I'm just trying to figure out fundamentally if I can stay behind this because I'm underwater. Like I got in Polkadot in 2021. I think it might have been around $5 or $6. Um, so I'm underwater, a few dollars. So I'm just trying to figure out what I should do. I talked to Piper earlier, and he was saying that he was dumping a lot of his coins and going to fiat because he had, preconceived notion of what can happen and what's going to happen. So now he has me second guessing my decisions as to should I reallocate or should I just go into some fiat. I'm not selling crypto because last year I did. I was a little bit skeptical about the run, like going into September we were bearish. October we started to get a little bit of a push, and then November, December up until like March, April we just shot up. So I don't want to be left behind again like that when it comes to jumping on a train for newer coins or coins that I think I should allocate more into.
Yeah.
But I mean, things are looking kind of grim, but things can change on a whim.
It
That's the
looks
thing.
it
Things
looks
can change.
like I'm trying to look at your screen right now, but it looks like you're at a pretty key level. I mean,
No,
it
this is
looks
the
it,
number one macro support resistance. This is 2020, October 2020. This is December 2022. This is May 2023. This is October 2023, basically the end of the bear market. And then this is today. So this is major, major macro support right here. We haven't deviated. Well, we deviated a little bit, but for the most part, this is why I brought it up because somebody asked me. I said, if this is where you want to buy, if you want to buy Polkadot, this would be your area to buy. Now, if we
yeah.
start closing below here, good night, Polkadot.
A small shout out here. Nick Musgrave, thank you very much, my man. He said, "Be blessed, gents. Loving the new format." Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you,
Hope
Nick.
all is well with you. Definitely much appreciated. And Mark Dutch, he said, uh, just tell my wife she's on a budget now. So
So
eh,
Dave Digital said, Dot is in trouble. Ada is a cult. Matic is dead. Litecoin dead. XRP dead. Cast in trouble. So
and
I don't
Piper
know what
left. And Piper left crypto. It's done.
my
It's over.
Piper
It's
left
over.
crypto, man. So
It's over.
I feel like that marks the bottom. Now we can reverse.
Yeah. That's my that's my key indicator to get the hell out, man. Piper said he's done. I'm like, oh, this could get
Yeah,
ugly.
about it a lot earlier, and he just he was bringing me some very very good points and very very good data and very very good
Yeah.
charting. He brought it all into confluence, and now I was scratching my head like, dang, So we'll see.
Piper said,
We'll
I
see.
did not leave crypto. Stop. No, I'm not gonna stop, man. I'm always giving it to you. So cool, man. Let's see. What else do we got here? You got anything else you want to look at on the charts?
I mean, everything is dead, man. Like Dave
It's all
Digital
dead.
said, everything is dead, man. Everything is dead. Crypto is a scam. If it's all, it's over. It's over, man. Let's go get some index funds. Let's change the name,
What,
and
what are,
that's the
what are we
stuff,
gonna be?
man.
The invest nightcap? Like what?
Yeah,
Doesn't even
something.
sound
Nah, man.
doesn't even sound
I
good.
mean, for Bitcoin, I can look at Ethereum really quick because Ethereum, we're almost back at my 2300 level that we talked about. Yep, we talked about this a few days ago. Now
Got
we're
you.
back at it. So
Bring you up
we've
right now.
been this is on a time frame. We're on a weekly time frame. So I'm right now. When it comes to trading, we have our trading, we have our trading show, we have our trading Discord and everything. But when it comes to just zooming out, I'm on the weekly now. I'm on the weekly now, and I'm looking at if my conviction is that we're going to reverse at some point in the near future. Now I'm on the weekly. Now I'm zooming out. Now I'm looking at macro support levels to buy at. So this is the next one right here, around 21 to 2300. If we lose that, 15 to 1700, and a lot of people are saying Bitcoin could go back into the low 40s, the low 50s, high 40s, and even the low 40s. So if we do lose that, then I'll definitely start scooping up a little bit more Ethereum and around in the 1000, the high 1000s, for sure, and then just try to DCA on the way down. Hopefully we don't break back below 1000 if the market, really starts to, crap the bed. So it's just something right now. We're in a wait and see. But we all knew September was bearish, so we can't be too surprised. We all said September was going to be bearish. It's just a seasonality thing. So we got to see what happens within these next 2 weeks, because usually towards the end, the 20th and outward, the market start to bottom and hopefully go back up. If history repeats,
Oh,
then we'll see something
looks like a touchdown. I'm guessing the Chiefs. Guessing the
like that. Yeah.
Chiefs. And
So
Eric
see,
Wan
that's
said, he says, stop being emotional, people. DCA. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Honestly, like, I had my lines in the sand. I was at 50K. I DCA'd. If it does pull back, I'm a DCA again. Ain't no biggie to me, man. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, baby. My deal is I'm trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Michael Saylor approach, and it is what it is, man. I've spent money on dumber things. I got to be honest with you. So I'm gonna try to accumulate. I think the long game. When I start thinking about, and I don't know who said it, but somebody at some point on one of the shows was like, "Where do you think Bitcoin's gonna be in 5 years? Where do you think Bitcoin's gonna be in 10 years?" And I think this did come from Michael Saylor originally, but and I started thinking about that, and I'm like, damn, like yeah. Like I do think it is gonna be more than where it's at right now. So it may not be my best investment, but I do think that it'll be a net positive when I look at 5 to 10 years down the road. So for me, that just kind of flipped my mindset. I'm like, I don't have to play this game all the time of trying to catch support and resistance. I can just DC my way in. I've given you guys the math on that. If you started your DCA at 69K and you took that thing all the way down to the bear market bottom, and then you took it back up and you just continue to DCA, you'd be even at 30K. Your break even was around 30K. And then you would have been net positive. And you actually, obviously, with DCA, the way that works, you're more and more and more profits. And now we're sitting at what, 56K? You're sitting pretty, right? Because your break even was at 30K and now it's at 56. So you have a lot of like gains there, which and you started at 69K. So if you think about that, how it works with DCA, I mean, shoot, man, if you believe in it, just go ahead, DCA. DCA is the way, baby. You can play the game if you want to, but honestly, I used to play the game with a lot of capital in it, and I was fortunate. And the reason I say I was fortunate because I was playing the game in the bear market. And I look like the smart guy that everybody looks like in the bull market when everybody's going long and like, I'm making all this money. I'm making all this money. Yeah, you did. You went long in the bull market. Good job. You know, but I was just fortunate that I was shorting in a bear market, and I could say it was as much luck as it was skill, to be honest with you. So, all right, we are definitely rambling a little bit here. Let me show you a little bit of hopium on Sol. All right. So I talked about this on the morning show, but I will bring it up again just for you guys since we got a little bit of a different crowd here tonight. Sol looks better than Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin's range is kind of working its way down and right. Sol is maintaining the range. It is not breaking down. All right. You see here, you got this horizontal level at about 129. All right, you really aren't getting any closes underneath of that, and you do have wicks. You have wicks going down to about 128. So I mean, right now it's looking okay, right? Because if you look at Bitcoin, trend is down and right. You look at Sol, that thing is like a horizontal level of support, and you couldn't ask for something cleaner. And you got multiple touches on that area. So until that breaks down, I mean, Sol is looking good. It's just waiting. So if Bitcoin does move like in the opposite direction, like if we get a little bounce and it starts moving up and right, I think Sol's gonna have a really nice move up. I really do. I think it'll move up pretty easy to 144. You'll get some resistance there with the dynamic reactor, but I think 162 is really in play. But all we need is Bitcoin to have a little bit of a reversal. Now, if Bitcoin breaks down, where could we go? Well, there's a range here. There's a range that we have found previously before we entered the current range. So the current range goes from about March to time now, and the previous range is about December of 2023 all the way till March, right? So then you just fall back into this next range, kind of regress to the mean. But I would say I'm pretty bullish on Sol. I mean, just looking at the chart and looking how it's holding up. I was bullish on Cast. It finally lost its range though. So we'll look at that real quick. I know that's Mike's favorite and currently my least favorite. Um but just kidding. It's not my least favorite, but I'm not happy with it right now. One thing that was really cool about Caspa as price action was going up and right is it was doing like a stair step. Nice little pump up, nice little pullback, nice little pump up, nice little pullback. But it was like stair stepping its way up, stair stepping its way up. It was a really clean climb. One of the things that I don't like, we have seen it break under the dynamic reactor. We have seen it before. And really, I would say, looking at this, could be, that's a wick though. That's a wick. But I think that golden pocket to the 0.5 to the 0.382, that makes sense. So for it to pull back to the 382, I wouldn't freak out about that, to be honest, because that looks very similar to this right here. So pull back to the 382, that's about the same, size pullback. You could get a bounce there at about 13 cents. But I would be looking for that. That would definitely, if the market kind of stabilizes, we're not too worried about any kind of, big sell off. I think that's a good buying opportunity for cash, just based on looking at this chart, right around 13 cents. And that's just looking at this. If you take the dynamic reactor out of the equation, it's not as scary, right? Take that out, and then you're like, hey, that's just a clean climb up and right. Higher highs, higher lows. That's what you want to see, right? So point that out to you for Caspa, give you a little bit of hopium there. But that's what I'm looking at. There's a couple alts for you guys. So we did tie in some crypto into our conversation today. So you're welcome
I
for
do got
that.
one thing to say though.
Yeah, what's
Like,
up?
so we're looking at these coins. We're looking at a few of these altcoins. Like we looked at Polkadot, we looked at Ethereum on key support, like macro support. We see Solana at macro support, not just these little 15-minute supports, these little hour supports for macro levels. So now we know if these are just teetering, these are holding these macro levels. It's inevitable that if Bitcoin starts to get a push up, then these will bounce. So these are easier trades. Like that's what I look for, these simple easy trades, and I'll take more of these, than just trying to just do something every day. So I'll go heavier on these type of trades. So now I'm looking at Bitcoin, looking at these coins, even though some of them might be somewhat dead, they are on macro supports. If Bitcoin does start to turn around or does start to go up, even if it goes up 2, 3, 4, 5, K, these are going to bounce, have a nice significant bounce. So I'll be watching these, setting alerts for some short-term trades for these if Bitcoin does indeed get a nice little bounce. And tomorrow we'll see. Tomorrow we'll see. If I trade, it'll be after we get that information, that data coming out, and then over the weekend. I usually don't trade on Saturdays, but if the markets can end the week bullish, I think this will be a key support areas to try to get into some trades going into tomorrow. We just got to see what that data comes out at, and watch out for the wicks up and down before the real trend starts, because they try to get you up, they try to get you down, then they'll do the real move after that.
Piper said he's buying 10K worth of baby does right now. I don't know if he's being serious or not. He probably is being serious, though. He's a crazy man. What's going on with the game? We got Chiefs, and who else is playing? Is it the Ravens? Let's see here. Let's check the game real quick. I know you guys aren't here for that, but I'm checking it.
I'm just reading the chat, man.
Yeah, they're
They
crazy.
got a whole
7-7.
they got some crazy stuff going on in that chat. Y'all boys crazy, man.
Yeah, so 7-7 right now. I got a couple players in there. I got Kelsey in, and oh man, I got the one receiver from the Ravens too that I like. Can't think of his name right now. He's a beast though. Uh cool. Well, shoot, man. I think that's gonna about wrap it up. I appreciate everyone for coming in the chat tonight, spend some time with us. I know we tend to talk shop a little bit more than crypto sometimes, but you know what? It's the crypto nightcap. That's kind of what we're about here. So again, thank you guys. We truly, truly appreciate it. It's you guys making this show grow a lot faster than we were anticipating, to be honest. And it's really cool to see you guys in the chat all the time. So with that, if you guys did enjoy the show, this is your opportunity right now. Show us some love. Hit that like button. We would really appreciate that very, very much. And I will turn it over to FD and have some parting words on the way out of here.
It's scary times, man. Scary times. But if you're convicted, like I always say, act accordingly. I'm not gonna take Piper's advice yet and just sell everything and buy
Baby Doge.
treasury bonds and yields and things and baby does. I'm not doing that yet. I'm gonna let it play out a little bit longer, but I am cautious because I round trip a whole big bag from last cycle to this cycle. So I did get some of my gains back. So I don't want to do anything like that. But we got about 60 days until the election, so it's gonna be very rocky up until then, and then I think we'll get some sort of clear direction. Probably a little bit before that, but even a little bit after is gonna be a little bit rocky. So protect your bags, protect, don't put the mortgage in. That's one thing I do disagree on with Michael Saylor. He said sell houses and take loans out and do all that. I do not agree with that. Not yet. But a lot of times if you're scared, just stick with Bitcoin. We know Bitcoin is gonna be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Right on. Cool. Well, everybody, you guys have a great evening. Enjoy the football game. And we will see you next Monday. So also have a great weekend. And with that, we're out of here.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you